Welcome back to AskAPop. Today we're talking about I need a list for my lists. Shortly after starting with the company that I still work for today, they sent me to a time management class. And, being the smart aleck that I still am today, first thing I started talking about when they were saying about making time was we'd need flux capacitors and we was going to need a DeLorean and warp drives. And I started getting all sorts of dirty looks until they got their point across that I probably should pay attention. So I did, and then ever since then, I've started using task list. First, it was in the binder that they gave me, and then after that, they went to Outlook, and so did I. And even to this day, I still use Outlook. Of course, now I'm what they call an NPW or non-paid worker for that company, which means the fancy way of saying that I now have two Outlooks, one for them and one for the company that actually signs my paycheck. And then at home, I actually have multiple lists because I got, we use Google, so that means I got my Google task list, and then I got the one that we share with family, and then I got one I share just with Tony, and then I got one I share with the kids, and then we got all the different notes and lists and calendars, and don't even get me started on all the different notes that we have for church and this and that. Oh, it gets a lot. And I thought technology was supposed to make things better, but you get my meaning. There's a whole lot, and like I said, technology was supposed to make this stuff easier. But now on to my rambling. With all these lists and notes and everything, it's so much to just make us kind of go crazy sometimes. But all of a sudden, one day I was looking at all my to-do lists that needed to get to done, and it started to get a bit overwhelming. And that's when the Spirit stopped me, and in the middle of praying about how I'm going to do it, when it stopped me and said, every one of the items on that list, you got to think about it. It's a blessing because that's somebody or something that somebody's entrusted to you. It made me stop and think about that for a minute. Made me settle in. So, and instead of me being weak and weary and coming to the Spirit knew at that time that I was weak and weary, and He actually came to me. So, does it really change how many things are on that list? No, not really. Not any more than that time management class. It was able to make me add an extra minute to the day, but it absolutely does change the way I look at the list, because now each one of those things I look at as a blessing, and I will continue to do so and count my blessings. The Bible verses today are Matthew 11:25 through 30 and Colossians 3:12 through 17. As far as questions go, have you ever stopped to think about your task and your task list as blessings? Will you now? God bless you and have a great day.